My story begins where I was sitting on a beach, contemplating whether or not I was going to keep my son or not, whether I was going to give him up for adoption or keep him as myself. As I was sitting there on the beach, I was praying to God, and God told me that I was supposed to keep Liam as my son. About a couple weeks later, we would be introduced to the pediatric cardiology over here in Orlando, to the Florida hospital, where I would see Dr. Garcia for the first time, where he was able to explain to me what was going on with my son's heart. He told me that my son was going to be born with a pulmonary stenosis, which meant that the valve was not clear enough for blood to go through. I was petrified at that moment, knowing that my son had a problem. And the first person I went to was God, saying, please God, take it. This is your son. You're going to be his father, because he will be born without a father.
The first time I met Katrina and Liam was when I went on the PCICU, which is a cardiac unit for children. And I saw her in her room alone, just standing over the baby's bassinet. And so I asked her if I could come in, and I went in, and we got talking, and I realized she was basically all alone. Her mother was in California, her family lived other places, and she was kind of there all on her own.
There was one moment where I thought that I was going to lose my son. I asked Brother Joseph if he would be able to do a baptism.
When Katrina requested baptism, I could tell that she was very concerned for the well-being of Liam. She said, I'm afraid that he's going to die tonight. And so I went in and just wanted to be able to help her as best as I could. So I didn't have any particular tools to do baptism in a proper way, so we got a bottle of water and we got a towel, and we just proceeded to do what we could.
From that point on, I knew that this hospital was something different. This is a hospital that cares, and not cares only just for my child, but they care about Mom too.
I think that Florida Hospital has made a spiritual impact on Katrina and therefore Liam by just being there 24/7 with people who cared about her, and cared about her, not only the well-being of her son, but her as a person.
The one thing I noticed after surgery was that he had a scar, and his went vertical up and down. Then I looked down and I remembered my scar, and it went horizontal, left to right. And if you put the two together, it makes a cross. During the hospital stay, there was times I wanted to give up. But it was certain nurses that would sit there and pray for me, pray for Liam, and be there by both of our sides, knowing that we're both going to make it. And God will help every single step of the way.